guys, welcome back to Harbourside Kids at Home. If you're new or it's your first time watching or you're not sure who I am, my name is Jazz and my husband Mike is the kids and youth pastor at Harbourside Church and I run the preschool room. So if you're watching this video, it is definitely aimed more at preschoolers, but it doesn't matter how old you are or who you are, you're welcome to watch and enjoy and learn along with us. Today is my last video, which is a little bit sad, but I'm also really excited because it means that next week church is back in person. And so we're hoping that people will be eager to come back to church and that I will see you in person soon and we can sing songs together and read the Bible together and do some craft. It's going to be so much fun. But if you're someone who's going to stay online, then we'd love you to continue watching church online. It'll still be available via Zoom and on our Facebook live stream. So without further ado, let's jump into what we're doing today. Throughout the month of October, we're looking at the idea of being made, like molding clay or Play-Doh, in God's image. Because in week 1, we talked about how God created the world and he made everything and he created everything perfectly, exactly how he wanted it. But his very good creation was humans. It was you and me. And so we are made especially by God and for God. And so that's really important because it reminds us that we are God's children. We are his special thing that he has made and he loves us so much. Last week we read a book called You Are Special about a Wemmick who didn't feel very special. He didn't feel like anyone loved him, but his maker, Eli, loved him so much. And it was important that he knew that it didn't matter what other people thought of him because his maker loved him. And so when we can realize that we are God's children and that is what makes us special, then it doesn't matter what other people say or what other people do, because God has made us exactly how he intended for us to be, and he loves us so much, and no one can ever change that. And this week, we're talking about the idea of sharing with others. So we're going to hold our hands close to ourselves like we're holding lots of things, sharing with others. Because God is the creator. He made everything. And he made us, which makes us his children that he loves, that he considers to be special. And like we talked a little bit last week, God made us all different. We like different things, we look different, we eat different things, some of us speak differently. And that's okay because that's how God made us. That was his purpose and his plan. But if we're all different and we all like to do different things and we like to speak in different ways and we all look different, then it's important that we all learn to share with each other and share the things that we love with each other. Because God wants us all to be one big happy family. Because he considers us all to be his children. We're going to read a story about Jesus and about how he shared with others. This story comes from the Bible and it can be read in either Mark or Luke's Gospel. And the Gospels are the first 4 books of the New Testament. And this story is called The Servant King. It was Passover, the time when God's people remembered how God had rescued them from being slaves in Egypt. Every year they killed a lamb and ate it. The lamb has died instead of us, they would say. But this Passover, God was getting ready for an even greater rescue. Jesus and his friends were having the Passover meal together in an upstairs room. But Jesus' friends were arguing. What about? They were arguing about stinky feet. Stinky feet? Yes, that's right. Stinky feet. Now the thing about feet back then was that people didn't wear shoes. They only wore sandals, which might not sound unusual, except that the streets in those days were dirty. And I don't mean just dusty dirty, I mean really stinky dirty. With all the cows and horses everywhere, you can imagine that the stuff on the street ended up on their feet. Poop on feet. Anyway, somebody had to wash away all that dirt, but it was a yucky job. Who on earth would ever dream of volunteering to do it? Only the lowliest servant would do something like that. I'm not the servant, Peter said. Nor am I, said Matthew. So quietly, Jesus got up from the table, took off his robe, picked up a bucket of water, knelt down, and started to wash all of his friends' feet. No, you can't, Peter said. He didn't understand about Jesus being the servant king. If you don't let me wash away the dirt, Peter, Jesus said, you can't be close to me. Jesus knew that what people needed most was to be clean on the inside. All the dirt on their feet was nothing compared to the sin in their hearts. Then wash me, Lord, Peter said, his eyes filling with tears. Wash all of me. And one by one, Jesus washed everyone's feet. I am doing this because I love you, Jesus explained to them. So do this for each other. So let's imagine that you're having a party at your house and you've invited a few friends over, and yesterday it rained and today it's sunny, but the ground in your garden is still a little bit wet, or the ground at the park might still be a little bit wet. And so you and your friends are running around, you're having fun. It's so much fun to be all together. But what is happening to your feet? They're getting dirty. So imagine then that you go back home and everyone's got these really dirty, stinky feet, and your parents don't want dirty feet everywhere in the house. And so you kneel down with a bucket of soapy water and you wash your friend's feet. That would be pretty weird, wouldn't it? Everyone can wash their own feet, can't they? But that's exactly what Jesus was trying to teach his disciples, what Jesus was trying to teach his friends. Just because someone else could do it doesn't mean that they should be the one to do it. Jesus wants us to share with others. God has made us all different. He has given us different things that we like, different things that we can do, different things that we can say, different things that we can share. And he wants all of those things to be shared with others. Remember, holding things like we've got too many things in our hands, might be lots of books, might be lots of toys, might be lots of food, carrying lots of things, and then sharing them with other people, offering it, handing it out to other people. And this is what Jesus was trying to teach them. That even though he was the king of the world, remember we sing our song, Jesus the king of the jungle, he's the king of the sea, he's the king of the universe, and he's the king of me. Even though he was the king and he was God's son, he got down on the ground in the dirt and he washed all of his friends' stinky feet. Now, Jesus was also about to wash away all of their sin when he died on the cross and he died in their place. But he was also trying to teach them that in the same way that he was being loving and kind in doing something that was not a nice job, it was a stinky job. Just as Jesus was doing that for his friends, he wanted his friends to do it for each other and for other people. So this week, I want you to have a think about, what is it that God has given you that you can share with someone else? One of my little friends, he is 6 years old and his name is Harry, and he loves to make cupcakes. He makes cupcakes every week. And he loves making cupcakes because he loves eating cupcakes. But he also loves making cupcakes because his next door neighbor, who is a really old lady who lives by herself, is really lonely. So every time Harry makes cupcakes, let's say he makes 10 cupcakes. And you know what Harry does? Harry takes 5 of his cupcakes and he goes and gives it to his neighbor. And then those other 5 he shares with his sisters and his mum. And every week Harry does this. And he knows how important it is that when he's enjoying something good like a cupcake, oh, so delicious, so yummy, he also wants other people to share with him, and he wants to share with others. So he takes, out of the 10 cupcakes, he takes half of the cupcakes and he goes and gives them to this old lady next door who's lonely. And then he shares the other cupcakes with his sisters and with his mum. And that's what Jesus wants us to do. He wants us to take the good things that he's given us, Maybe we have a really cool bike. Maybe we're really good at making a cake, or maybe your mum buys a lot of fruit, and maybe that's something you could share with your neighbour. Or maybe you're really good at drawing pictures, and you might like to draw a picture for a neighbour or for a family member or someone who's a bit lonely, who might need some cheering up. So that's your challenge for this week. It's an important challenge. How can you take the good things God has given you, the ways He's made you different, and take those things to share with others? Because if we're all made in God's image, well, we know that God is loving and that He is generous and that He gives gifts and that He showed us His love by giving us His Son. That is the biggest sharing act of all. And so we need to copy what God has done for us, and we need to share with others. And what's really cool is that if you give and share with someone and they don't expect it, they go, "Oh, this is lovely. Why have you done this?" You'll be able to say, "Well, in the Bible, there's this really cool guy, and his name is Jesus, and he shared everything with others. He shared food, he shared himself, he even washed his friend's stinky feet, and it was because he loved them. And I want to show that to you. I want you to know that God loves you because I'm doing this special sharing with you." So there's your challenge. You might like to drop off some food to a neighbour. You might like to take a picture round to a grandparent that you haven't seen in a while. You might like to go and take your bike round to a friend's place and you guys can take turns riding your bike or your scooter. Or you might like to sing a song for a friend. Or you might like to go for a walk with a friend. I'm sure that you little smart things can think of something special that you could share with others and tell them, "I am doing this because I am made in God's image and He loves you. And so I want to show that to you by sharing with others." So there's your challenge. You'll have to let me know if you take up my challenge and how you go with your challenge. We're going to sing a couple of songs to finish up, and then I'm going to say goodbye and hopefully see you next week in person. How exciting is that? So let's sing some songs together. Ready?
My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That's true. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That's true. The mountains are His, the valleys are His, the stars are His handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That's true. Let's sing it again,
Ready?
shall we?
Nice and loud.
My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That's true. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That's true. The mountains are His, the valleys are His, the stars are His handiwork too. My God is so big. I'm all right. So strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That's true.
We're going to sing Who's the King of the Jungle? Oh, you'd be like Tarzan. Be like a monkey.
Who's the king of the jungle? Who's the king of the sea? Who's the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell you, J-E-S-U-S. Yes, He's the king of me. He's the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Who's the king of the jungle? Who's the king of the sea? Who's the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell you. J-E-S-U-S. Yes, he's the king of me. He's the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea.
Alright, now you have to be a monkey. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Or you can dance around. We like to do our guitar solos in preschool kids church. Ready? Ooh, ooh, ooh. You ready?
Who's the king of the jungle? Who's the king of the sea? Who's the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell you. J-E-S-U-S. Yes, he's the king of me. He's the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. He's the king of the jungle. Ooh, ooh. He's the king of the sea.
Bubble, bubble, bubble.
He's the king of the universe. And he's the king of me. Bubble, bubble, bubble.
The last one we're going to sing is called Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32. And it's a verse in the Bible where God teaches us to be kind to one another. So we're going to use our actions from today of sharing with others. So we're going to go in the Bible, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32. God says be kind to one another. God says be kind to one another. And I think we sing it through maybe 3 times. So remember, in the Bible, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, God says be kind to one another. All right, let's sing it.
In the Bible, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, God says be kind to one another. God says be kind to one another. Can you do it with me? Here we go. In the Bible, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, God says be kind to one another. God says be kind to one another. Can you do it on your own?
All right, ready?
Off
Out
you go. Now.
In the Bible, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, God says be kind to one another. God says be kind to one another.
That's good. God says be kind to one another. Last time. God says be kind to one another.
Good work, everyone. Thanks so much for watching all of my videos while we've been online. I hope that you've had fun. I hope that you've learnt lots about our good God who loves you so much because you are made in His image. He made you so special and you are so loved and special. And that is because God is a good God. So remember my challenge for this week. How can you share with others? What is it that you can share? Is it something that you own? Is it something that you can make? Is it something that you can do? Can you sing? Can you dance? Can you read a story? There are lots of different ways that we can share with others. Sharing with others because we are made in God's image. So I hope you had fun. I look forward to hopefully seeing a lot of you next week when we're back at church. And if not, hopefully I'll see more of you soon. If you need to know any more information about church, don't forget to go check on the website or to send an email to hello@harbourside.org. And you can always check our Instagram and our Facebook as well to find out what's going on. I hopefully get to see you all, give you all a high five in person soon. Thanks everyone. See you later.